Hello and good morning. In this Minute with Mary, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on how to keep your under eye concealer from creasing. I don't know about you, but when I'm thinking about minimalistic makeup, when I'm trying to wear as little makeup as possible, but I do want to still look a little bit more pulled together, a little bit more awake and confident, the first thing I look at is my eyes, whether it's my lashes, by putting on some mascara, and or by adding a little bit of concealer. So one of the big problems that people have though with concealer is that it can kind of get a little funky. It can get creased. It can just look a lot cakey. It can look very, very dry. So that's what this Minute with Mary is here to address and to help you out with. Do me a favor and put hashtag hello lovely right down there in the comments below. That's your little way to give me a high five over the interwebs. So to start things off, if you're having under eye creasing, dryness, fine lines, your makeup's kind of getting bunchy in there, the first thing that I recommend is that you make sure that you have some great eye cream. So my eye cream does have caffeine and ginseng inside of it. It has also some sodium hyaluronic, which is going to help with long-term effects with hydration. So you're going to get to have some really cool effects that you can feel about 20 minutes into wearing the eye cream. And then you're also going to have some long-term effects by using it every single day. I use it both morning and night. It does look like a little jar. When I first got it, I was like, are you kidding me? What's going on? But you actually use less than a piece of rice under each eye. So you just go on in, take a little bit, and then what I like to do is I like to pat it underneath my eye. I bring it on over to my crow's feet area. I make sure that I get the whole bag area, as it's going to help with discoloration and tightening that bag. And then I actually close my eye and bring whatever product is left up onto the upper part of my lid, where I also have discoloration, and I also have had some saggy, droopy issues just because of age. By tapping it, I'm really helping it absorb into the skin. You can also use some kind of like a jade roller or an eye cream roller to use that to roll it in if you don't want to use your finger. So that's one of the first things that I recommend, because that also hydrates your skin. A lot of the reasons that your concealer might be creasing and bunching and looking a little funky is because of hydration issues. So by making sure that you've got some nice eye cream on before you start your makeup routine, it's going to make a world of difference. So another thing that you can do, hi Rachel, how are you? Thanks so much for popping on in. It's so good to see you. Hi Shauna. How are you? Hello, Kathy. Great to see you. And I see Rachel saying that she loves the eye cream. It is so good. So the next thing that I want to do, as I'm not necessarily wearing foundation, I'm not wearing a lot of products today, I'm just going to be doing a few meetings and I do have to run some errands, is I am going to use a setting spray. So setting sprays are great, particularly for locking your makeup in place, to help combat with humidity, to help a dewy look stay dewy without necessarily coming off. I also have been loving it when it comes to fine lines and wrinkles. I love to put this on my face, and then when I have the product on, I actually apply a little bit more and press it. But this has been something I've been doing now for my under eyes, for my concealer, and I wanted to share with you. So this one right here is a prime and set mist. So you can actually spray it all over your face. You can do that with any kind of setting spray as well. But what we're particularly going to be focusing on is the under eye area. So you're going to take your finger and spray a little bit of setting spray on your finger, and you're going to just pat it. Pat it anywhere that you're going to be putting that under eye concealer. So for me, I've got a lot of fine lines over here. I've got my crow's feet. I've got some kind of discoloration, a bit of crepiness right here. And you want to tap it until it has set. All right. You don't want to be applying your concealer on it when it's wet. So just by tapping it, you're kind of helping it set inside your skin, pressing it inside those fine lines or any kind of textured crepey skin that you may have. And you're just pressing and tapping, and this will help dry it and set it. Kathy says, any word on when the setting spray mist is coming out for purchase? No word yet, Kathy, but you can use your regular, like the regular setting spray on the site to do this same thing. This is just what I had out already, but I haven't heard yet, but it will be in our core line at some point. All right, so I can feel that it is no longer wet and it has set into my skin. I will do... I could just do, I'm just going to do this one eye so you could see the difference. So when it comes to choosing your under eye concealer shade, if you are going to be wearing foundation, if you're going to be doing blush and bronzer and all that kind of stuff, and you want to brighten under your eyes, you can choose a shade that is lighter than your skin tone. However, if you're someone who either has physical under eye bags, like physical baggage, and you're like, I don't want to be highlighting any of that, thank you very much, and or you're doing a real minimalistic look, like I am today. I'm not putting on foundation. My freckles are going to shine. I'm going to let my skin breathe a bit. But as I said, for me, I do want to brighten underneath my eyes a little bit. What you're going to do in that situation is you are actually going to use a concealer that matches your skin tone. This is also what you're going to do if you need to cover age spots or acne and you don't want to be doing full coverage foundation. I love this concealer because it has also caffeine inside of it and skincare infused. So it's also just going to continue to hydrate, work on those anti-aging properties. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this concealer, and rather than apply a whole bunch down here, less is more when it comes to concealer. So I'm going to go right where my discoloration is, which is right in here. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit of a line right there. And then I'm also going to do a little bit of a lift out here. Okay, this is going to just kind of lift the whole face, add a little bit of dimension to the face, helps with that anti-aging property that I was talking about. Now to blend, you can use your fingers or you can use a blending bud. I'm going to use just a little blending bud, spray a little bit of that same setting spray on it, but you can do the same with your finger. I'll probably get in there with my finger in a little bit too. And you just tap it. By doing this, what you're doing is you are kind of combining a little bit more of that setting spray into your concealer. And setting spray, as I said, it's kind of like the hairspray for your face. So it locks things in. It tells that concealer, this is your home now, and you're not going to leave that home. You're not going to get all creased up and crepey and crazy and yucky inside my skin. You're going to look perfect, little concealer. You're going to help brighten things up. So what I love about this, and as I said, you can even just use your finger. What I love about this is it's not, I'm not using a lot. What I do is I do a little bit, and then if I need a little bit more, I kind of go back in wherever I see fit, but less is more when it comes to your concealer. Your under eye skin is the finest skin. So I'll show you once again with just my finger this time. Your under eye skin is the finest skin on your face. It doesn't have the pores that the rest of your face has. And that means it doesn't have also the oil production that the rest of your face has. And that oil production is kind of like nature's moisturizer. So it's very thin. It's easy to fold. It's easy to get creases in. It doesn't have that great hydration, so you really need to make sure that you're taking care of great skincare, and you want to make sure that the makeup that you are using does have some skincare elements inside of it. So by doing this setting spray trick, as I said, I personally like to use a blending bud. It's just with a little setting spray. I just find for me that it works a little bit better, but you can use your finger, as I said. By doing this setting spray trick, you are locking that concealer in its home. It's not going to get all stuck in your folds of your laugh lines, of your crow's feet, and it's just going to do its job. And I absolutely love it. So for me, this is enough. As I said, I'm not going to be brightening. I'm just trying to really help kind of color correct and bring a little bit of awakeness to my face. Let me know. Can you see a difference? Can you see a difference between these two eyes? Because as I said, I'm not doing crazy amounts of makeup. If I was going to be wearing a more medium or fuller coverage foundation, I would be using a shade that is a lot lighter to really kind of help with that brightening. So let me quickly do the other side, just in case you joined in late, taking a little setting spray. Spraying it right on my finger, and then I press it underneath that eye and in that kind of crow's feet area. This is going to help create a really strong, healthy base for my under eyes. When you're doing your makeup with foundation, do not layer foundation and concealer. The more layers underneath your eyes, the worse it's going to be because it's that super thin skin. So a lot of people, they don't know that, and they'll put foundation everywhere, and then they go and try to brighten with concealer, and now they've just made like this big old thick sandwich of products on top of that very fine skin. So less is more. So when you are taking your concealer, as I said, start out with a little bit, blend it, and then see if you need a little bit more product. All right, so I'm going to go on in. Once again, my discoloration and most people's discoloration is right in that inner corner. So I'm just going to focus right there, bring it on down a smidge. And then I'm also liking to pull a little bit up here for a little bit of a lift to my face. This is the same color as my foundation right now, okay? I'm not trying to highlight. So I take that setting spray on my blending bud or my finger, tap, tap, tap. And so I press it in. I do have discoloration on my upper eyelid, so I sometimes bring a little bit extra on top of that eyelid. But by doing this, I'm melding the setting spray helps meld the concealer into my skin a little bit more rather than sitting on top of it. So really, it's creating this nice thin layer of product that is perfectly pressed and set. By doing this little tapping, I'm setting it in place. If you don't set it in place, what happens is it is creamy and it can move around. So as you are putting makeup on your face, as you're talking, as you're laughing, as you just kind of move your face around like you normally do, because that's being human, if it's not set, it can shift. It can be like a little tectonic plate on your face, and it can shift and it can end up in those fine lines or in the texture of your face, which a lot of us don't like. So as I said, I sometimes will go back in, I'll do a little extra, but on this side, I don't think I need anymore. I added just enough. And there you have it. It is that easy. The setting spray for me has really been a game changer. It has helped me kind of create a thinner product where I've needed it to be thinner, and it's set it. If you just spray it and it's still wet and you haven't kind of set it either with your fingers by tapping and making sure it's not wet or tacky, it will still have the potential to move around. And you can't just have the stoic face all day. You know, you're a human. You're going to be expressive. But by doing this tapping, it speeds up that process. It locks it in place. It keeps the layers on that very thin skin nice and light, and still gives me the coverage. So I feel super confident and I feel like I look awake even if I'm a little tired. So there you have it. That is the Minute with Mary video for you today. How to use concealer in a way that won't crease, still gives you some great coverage by utilizing setting spray in that process. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm not doing a full face today as I am just running some errands, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this if you try this method out especially. All right. Thank you so much once again for tuning in, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.